Hey and welcome to Neverwinter with Aragon. So here I want to cover all the 4 slot mounts that are currently in the game. I've gone ahead and updated my document, which we'll cover in this video, and I also want to go through what I would recommend you use in terms of the insignia bonuses on your role, whether you're a damage dealer, tank, or a healer. So if you're not aware, there are mounts with 4 insignia slots versus the normal traditional just 3. These 4 insignia slots allow you to, slot in another insignia. This automatically allows you to gain 500 item level, but they also have a special thing with their 4th slot. They can have a preferred insignia. They're different for each mount. For example, this one wants a barbed one, this one wants an enlightened, and this one wants an illuminated. But if you adhere to those requirements, you'll gain a 20% boost in item level, which means your insignia, the 4th one, will now give 600 item level. Now if you use 5 mounts then with all 4 slots and the preferred insignias, you can gain a 3000 item level increase. Something you might not want to miss out on, but just be aware that's only for endgame. Whenever you run lower content than master, you will be scaled down and you thus won't have any benefit from extra item level. So it's not exactly the biggest priority to get these 4 slot mounts other than perhaps the bonuses they can provide you. It can be quite the costly affair to get your entire stable kitted out with them. I would take your time, and again, in terms of priority, it's not exactly the highest on the list. You can see I rate it all the way down here. You can access all content just using 3 slot mounts, which are an absolute ton cheaper. But let's dive into all the details. I have gone ahead and updated my all-known 4 slot mount document. I've added a section here where you can see each different bonus and exactly which mount is going to provide that bonus. All of the ones that are currently available in the game. Also added in one that is still coming, the Golden Goose. That'll be with April Fowls. So we've got all that on that page. Just there you can see exactly what gives what, and I would really like them to add more mounts with Tactician's Precision. Then on the second page here, I have recommended the different bonuses that I recommend you use as a damage dealer, healer, or a tank. They're not listed in any particular order, but these are the ones I find the most useful for you to fulfill your role. Damage dealer's there to deal damage. Yes, you could go and decide to take Lionheart's Perseverance on a damage dealer for some extra survivability, but that's not going to help you in dealing more damage, so I'm not going to recommend that. But feel free to take it if you need. You can see all the healer bonuses here and the tank ones as well. From there, I have listed all of the insignia bonuses. You can see them in game. You can also see them here then as well, exactly what they're providing you. And then it goes on to, all of the 4 slot mounts with all the details, exactly what bonus they're giving, what insignias you'll need to get that bonus, and whether you can use it with the preferred slot or not. For example, here we can use the Deadly Drider form, we can get it with Protector's Covenant, and use the preferred insignia slot combination there, getting the bonus item level, thus it having the star there. When you have an insignia in the preferred slot and it is the preferred insignia, then it gains 100 item level on Mythic. You can see versus 500 normally. On this document you will also see, for example, the 3 slot insignia bonuses that you can gain through those mounts, and it also shows what insignia you should be using then. For example, you can get Shepherd's Devotion with the Deadly Drider form, and you can get it as the preferred, so you may as well use the preferred insignia there. Illuminated. Same with Protector's Camaraderie. That is what this box is about. You can read that again at the very beginning of the document. The ones you must use or the ones you should use to gain the bonus. Some of the ones have a lot of options here, like Warlord Inspiration on the Demon Wings. You could use all of these, but there is 0 point using Warlord Inspiration because this effect cannot stack with Warlord's Motivation, which you're just better off getting here. So this covers alphabetically all of the mounts that you can obtain in the game that have the 4 slots. There's a link to this document in the video description below. You can find the link again on any of my videos. It does include the new upcoming Golden Goose, which is right here, and it's going to be giving us that Warlord's Motivation with the preferred slot and then Protector's Camaraderie if we wanted it. I will update that to have the red box and the red insignias, but you can have every single one except the Enlightened to gain the bonus. But let's jump back to my recommended and what insignia bonuses I suggest you have on your roll. Here again I have them listed. So for example, a damage dealer, you want to have that Tacticians. It's a pretty crucial insignia bonus. I would recommend on a lot of classes you have 2 of them, allowing you to gain 7.5 cooldown reduction on your encounter powers when you use a daily power. This allows you to do like an artifact rotation, something like this, where you're using those encounters and then you're using the daily power to basically cut the cooldowns of those encounters, and you can use them right away again within 10 seconds. And that's like an absolute huge gain on certain classes. I may very well cover that bonus specifically and how it is so crucial for damage dealers these days in Endgame. And the only real mount that's readily accessible with that bonus is the Demon Wings. The Neverwinter hand came from your Jubilee event, and the Dark Butterfly Wings was a free claim item back with Module 26. You can see where each mount comes from with the description right there. Again, the Neverwinter hand came from the Jubilee event. It might return again this Jubilee. Jubilee is always set, I believe, in June, mid-June, which is the anniversary event for Neverwinter. And again, the Dark Butterfly Wings, which I really hope returns at some point, has a ton of bonuses there, including that Tactician's Precision, was just a one-off free claim, and you could only get it once per count, and it was not account wide. But additionally, there's Enchanter's Hex, which some damage dealers can really make a lot of use out of. For example, Rogue right here with Smoke Bomb, each of the 4 hits is going to trigger Enchanter's Hex, so it's very useful to have there. Now, this will be getting updated. It currently says 75 magnitude, and that's what it is on the live server, but it will be changing down to just 50 magnitude as you see here. So it will deal a little bit less damage, but it'll still be very powerful. And there's like Warlord's Motivation. You're just giving a damage boost to your companion. It's also very good, but if we look here, I don't currently have one, and that's because I don't have a 4-slot mount with it. I do hope to adjust things. I could get the pink Sylph Wings, get it. I could have got the reanimated chariot from Halloween event, but I didn't. And we should ideally have a Warlord's Motivation. This is preview server. I should have another Tacticians. I would switch out Executioners. I would switch out Menders, as I shouldn't need those stats. I don't need those stats, which are these other 2 insignia bonuses. I do recommend if you need those stats. These will give you a lot of ratings for your damage stats, and you're better off having 1 Executioners and 1 Menders. And then yes, if you want to go with a third, you could get a 2nd Executioners as well. For the healers then, you can also make use of Tacticians, not as important though, and some healers don't really depend much on their encounters. A Paladin you might. You can use 2 regeneration powers for your divinity, and cutting their cooldowns can help regen back faster that healer resource. But there's like Mender's Covenant for those healing stats. Survivalist Expertise is actually a pretty underrated power because it can give you 5,000 Forte. And this Forte is going to help with your regeneration. You see again that power just here, Survivalist Expertise. But the problem with this, it increases the Revive Sickness effect by 25%. What that means is you lose 25% more damage and 25% more healing per stack. Now that's just a percentage of what it would normally give you. So normally it would be 10%, so then you'd be at 12.5%. Otherwise it's just at 5% per stack if you have the Revive Sickness boon, and so it would only just be over 6% if you had this. So that's very small for quite a big gain in terms of Forte. And you can again stack that 3 times if you wanted to, of course increasing that negative condition of the Revive Sickness. But the thing is, Revive Sickness does not affect your healing on a healer. So you have that going for you. All you will lose is some hit points, and you'll naturally have more hit points than a damage dealer because of the 10% roll bonus you gain. There is also a 3-slot insignia bonus, Shepherd's Devotion, which is really good to just increase your allies' defense and movement speed. You can see that again on the Deadly Drider just here, that it has the option to use it, and you would gain all these benefits to you and your allies, which is really nice when you use a daily power. And I highly recommend healers having that. It also aligns very well with when you use a daily power to increase everybody's survivability. You're also giving them that defense, so you'll increase their survivability further. Damage dealers generally don't have their defense capped out, so they'll be able to fit those ratings. Same with Magistrate's Patience. It can give everybody extra defense. It's not as reliable though, and it is, I believe, not available on any 4-slot mount whatsoever. So you'll have to run a 3-slot mount with that, which means you can lose up to 600 item level for taking this bonus. You can view the bonus in your stable here, and it will require you to run a mount that has 2 barbed and an enlightened, and you'll just want to check the auction house, and I'm sure you can find some cheap mount that'll have that. Again, a 3-slot mount, and that's the effect right here. Basically, whenever you're critically hit, you can be healed and critically healed, and that counts as being critically hit. And then you'll give everybody that defense for 5 seconds. And then you go to the tanks. Again, tacticians can be useful for certain tanks, especially with long cooldowns like the Paladin. Then you have Protector's Covenant. That's just giving extra defensive ratings if you need them. Lionheart's Perseverance. Very good for that clutch heal and stamina gain when you're at low HP. And it will stack as well. You can get up to 35% hit points if you had 3 of these slotted whenever you drop below that hit point mark. Just if you have a Bard healer, that's not really necessary. And if you have a good healer, it's also not very necessary. And again, you can also run that Shepherd's Devotion and Magistrate's Patience to support the team with their survivability. Also, running through dungeons, Shepherd's Devotion is really nice as well. Just cast a daily power, everybody can move faster for 10 seconds. Again, you can stack the movement speed as well. Now, I would like to add in a mention of Gladiators Guile. You can get, for example, on the Demon Wings. It comes from other few mounts as well. And this just allows you to move faster. 10% more movement speed. There is a stamina regeneration effect as well, which is nice when you're low stamina. Can be useful for tanks, but in most cases you're gonna not have a lot of uptime on that, and it's not that useful. But keep in mind it is there, and I'm looking forward to them adding a 4-slot Insignia bonus version of that. I hope they do. Again, that's pretty much everything. Yes, I cannot recommend the exact setup of insignia bonuses to use because that will vary based on class, what gear you're using on your build, whether you can make use of Enchanter's Hex or not, how effective is Tacticians for you, so on and so forth. With that said, a special thank you to all of these channel members for their added support, and we'll see you guys around. Goodbye for now.